Lastly, we are going to add our saying to our image. So my saying was patience, because not doing anything about it takes way less effort. So I have a text tool right here. I can do horizontal type, which is just like normal type. I can also do vertical type, up and down. So I'm going to hit my horizontal type. I can make a text box if I want the text to stay in that box. Um, so then if I keep typing, first of all, my text is really big. Over here in my properties panel, we use our properties panel a lot. You can change the size. So when you create this text box, it's going to give you gibberish, and then you can start typing. I'm also going to type gibberish. But if I keep typing through this line, it will create a new line for me. I'm going to come back up here. I'm on my text layer, and I'm just going to delete that. If I hit my text tool once, it will continue typing in a line forever. So I want to start with my word patience. That's going to be bigger. So I'm going to put that on its own layer. Patience. I'm going to come over here to my properties and I can change the size. I want this one. Oh, I gotta highlight it first. I want this one to be really big. And I can move that around. I need to move this line down a little bit. If you just click on the line, it'll pick up that layer. And then I can go click on patience and it will click on that layer. Now I notice in these motivational posters, a lot of times the first and last letter are much bigger. So let's make that happen. I can either just make this a lot bigger, but then that P goes above instead of, I want that P to sit more below. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the P and delete the E. So this middle part of the word is just going to be on its own layer. And I'm going to create a new layer, and if I just click my type tool, I can also add a new layer down here. But if I come get my type tool and just click, it'll add the new layer for me. And then I can type that P, size it however I want, and move it independently from the rest of the word. I also may want to change the font. I notice a lot of these posters have a similar font. That is up to you and your own artistic decision. But I'm going to change this one, and it will show you the previews or samples of all these fonts. So this looks like a very similar font to what we're looking for. That is big Caslon. So I am also going to come back and get my move tool, double click, and change this to the same font, big Caslon. And then I'm going to put my E. Oops. I accidentally deleted that, so I can undo by pressing Command Z. Or I believe there's an edit undo right there. Now I can come get my type tool and make an E, and I'm going to make that one much bigger as well after I highlight it. I'll come get my move tool and I will move it as well. Now this kind of locks in place and I can't get it exactly where I want it, so I'm going to let it go and just move my arrow keys to place that in a more exact spot. Now that I have all of this where I want it, and I'm going to center this a little bit, I am going to come back down here to my layers panel. Now I want to be able to see more of these layers, and right now my properties panel is taking up too much space. If I come over and hover in between these two panels, I get these arrows and I can pull this up so I can see more of that. So right now I have my line and my text layers. They're not all together. So I'm just going to pull this line layer so it's with my text. Now I want to move these all together without having to move them one at a time. So I'm going to click my line layer, which is the top one, and I'm going to hold shift and click my T layer, and that's going to select all the layers in between. Then I'm going to right click and I can link the layers together. So now all of those layers are linked. So if I come to my move tool, if I move one, they're all going to move together. And now I'm going to put a text box in for the rest of my saying. I'm going to change this to a bigger font size because not doing anything about it takes way less effort. And I'm going to move that wherever I want it. And there is my demotivational poster. So I will come up here to File, Save As, Save on your computer. I'm going to save as my name, Demotivational Poster. And you can click Save.